We begin tonight with the breaking news in the CEO murder case. Just in tonight, a grand jury in New York City has now indicted Luigi Mangione on first and second degree murder charges, calling it an act of terror. The DA calling it a frightening, well-planned, targeted murder. Authorities say it was intended to cause terror. Tonight, Mangione remains jailed in Pennsylvania, where he was arrested. He's due in court on Thursday. His newly hired lawyer now says she expects he will agree to waive extradition and return to New York to face these charges. That could happen in days. We're also learning tonight about the phone call from authorities to Mangione's mother, just days after these surveillance images were first seen by the country. Authorities today saying that mother did not rule out her son. ABC senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky leading us off right here in New York.
Tonight, nearly 2 weeks after the chief executive of United Healthcare was gunned down outside a Manhattan hotel and left to die on the sidewalk, a grand jury indicted Luigi Mangione, charging him with killing Brian Thompson in furtherance of terrorism.
In the middle of Midtown, the beginning of a busy day, tourists, commuters, business people, the intent was to sow terror.
The 26-year-old Ivy League graduate is now charged with first and second degree murder for the high-profile hit.
This was a frightening, well-planned, targeted murder that was intended to cause shock and attention and intimidation.
For the first time today, the NYPD detailed how detectives first spoke to Mangione's mother 3 days after the shooting. She had reported him missing in November to police in San Francisco. As soon as they saw the wanted poster, they called New York. When investigators reached Mangione's mother, she did not rule out her son could be the killer.
They had a conversation where she didn't indicate that it was her son in the photograph, but she said it might be something that she could see him doing.
Even Mangione's new lawyer conceded before she was hired the evidence was overwhelming. She also floated a possible insanity defense.
You have someone who is a valedictorian of his class. He was brilliant his whole life. He comes from this great family. I mean, something changed, right? Significantly, something changed.
Now, with an indictment secured, New York's police commissioner said no one should lionize the suspect.
In the nearly 2 weeks since Mr. Thompson's killing, we have seen a shocking and appalling celebration of cold-blooded murder. Let me say this plainly. There is no heroism in what Mangione did. This was a senseless act of violence. It was a cold and calculated crime that stole a life and put New Yorkers at risk.
Mangione's jailed in Pennsylvania tonight. David, his attorney tells us she expects he will waive extradition Thursday. He'd be brought here to court for arraignment on this sparingly used murder charge reserved for the most depraved killings. David?
Aaron Katersky leading us off with the breaking news here tonight. Aaron, thank you. And we should note that Aaron is just part of the team